You can probably tell by my accent, but I'm not exactly an expert on Dapol OO Gauge models of British railway stock. That being said, I have dabbled in the world of UK 00 models, which may or may not be in part due to my making a series of fever dream comedy videos titled after a transatlantic pairing of drinks. For what I have done with 00 Gauge, I have found Dapol wagons to be a reasonably priced option for adding to my English freight goods trains. Not too long ago, I decided to purchase a few Dapol unpainted mineral wagons from Hatton's with the plan to paint them myself. I've already done one as a practice run, now for the second. Let's see how this goes. As always, disassembly comes first. This is a 20-ton mineral wagon, and in this case the wagon's frame and body just clip together with tabs in the middle of the frame. The coal load is friction fitted, so a little prying with a screwdriver pops it right out. The wagon's body goes outside for the base layer of paint. While it's drying, I remove the wheels from the wagon frame and make sure both the frame and load are ready for dull coat. Now, back to the paint. I used a rattle can of Tester's spray enamel that I already had on hand, and the color was almost perfect to my eye. I got this paint from my local Hobby Lobby. The coal load and frame come back from a coat of dull coat and are set aside to dry. I coated the load as well in hopes of making it look a touch more realistic. I think it helps a little, but this is up to personal preference. Once the wagon body is dry, I begin to mask off the location of a white slanted line found on the unloading hatch end of these wagons. I attempted this on the other wagon I painted, but it went wrong, so I'm trying a different method. I apply 4 strands of masking tape to form the edges of the line, then brush some Tester's white enamel over that. With the paint dried enough, I pulled the masking tape off, revealing a rather nice line. I then thought I could save some time and headache by using the same tape as a stencil to make an identical line on the other side of the wagon. With the paint applied and allowed to dry slightly, I pull off the masking tape and... oh... I didn't get the masking tape down properly at one end, so now I have a white thermometer. I try to clean it up with a paper towel, but it's still slightly misshapen. Ah well, the weathering will cover that to a degree anyways. Speaking of weathering, the frame is dry, so it now receives a layer of brown powder to weather it slightly. I'm treating the frame the same way I would treat a truck or bogie on an American wagon freight car. With the powder sealed in by dull coat, the frame is complete. I pop the wheels back in and set the frame aside with the coal load. We have the top and bottom done, now for what goes in the sandwich. After all the paint has dried on the wagon body, it gets its base layer of dull coat in preparation for powder weathering. The method here is... whoops. The method here is the same I always use. I have some pastel powder I created by scraping a pastel chalk with a hobby knife. I brush the powder onto the wagon body, then seal it in with dull coat from a rattle can. I repeated the process twice to get this wagon to the point where I was satisfied. With the powdering complete, the wagon receives its final application of dull coat. Once that's dry, the wagon goes back together. Another job done. Not bad for a yank in the wagon works. Here's a before and after comparison for your own inspection. This project was not as hard as I thought, and I'd imagine it's well within the capabilities of many modelers. As a bonus, it's a coal wagon, so if it looks a little rough, all the better. These wagons are an excellent place to practice these techniques. If you're thinking about attempting a project like this, the only extra advice I can offer is give it a go. Stay safe out there, and enjoy the world's greatest hobby.